Alright, so last episode we failed to diagnose one of our 4 patients. Even though I did a little test and everything. I didn't do that many tests though. But now that we're narrowed down to just him, I could do a lot more tests, so I could probably figure him out pretty quickly. We have some hours left though. Like 6 hours left, so I should probably look into the other thing. This patient that supposedly recovered from the sand pest, who is themselves seemingly a Darkwood reference. Which was a cool game I liked. I covered it on the channel. You can go watch me play Darkwood right now to solve the gaps between waiting for each episode of this game, I guess. I think it's got really cool atmosphere and visuals and gameplay mechanics. My one major complaint about it was basically that it felt like the story isn't super implemented into the gameplay mechanics. It's the kind of game where when people speedrun it, they just walk to all of the story objectives and trigger all of them, and don't actually engage with the day-night cycle and survival mechanics, which are the basis of the game. And that's always like, well, feels like the game should be about using those parts a little more. Here we go. Oh. He's met the albino. Oh, it's spooky in here. He has boarded stuff up. Are there gonna be traps in here? Should I be worried? Because, like, in a way, Darkwood is like advanced Home Alone. Like, you do lay a bunch of traps in your house to try to stop people that try to reach you. I'm a little worried I'm going to be in danger. You also just sit in the dark and hear a bunch of horrifying sounds all the time. That drawer. Did I break this? I might never be back here again. I'm literally full. I don't need any. Safe to go up this? Lots of little bowls, covered windows. Is he in there? I hear something. The smell is nauseating. Geranium and rot. Locked. These are some sounds, damn. Oh, hi. No one has touched them in a long time. Do children live here? Where are they put away? For the 47th time, go away. Leave me alone, damn you.
There's more of me to love. Like 2 or 3 of me.
That was a weird thing to say. Tell him to come out. Tell him to open the door. Lara, what are you doing here? Wait, I started reading Melon Pilot. Let's see, what are the options here? Lara, what are you doing here? I guess you always show up when another's life is falling apart. Damn. Oh, you're here, Doctor. Getting in my way once again? That man behind the door is not human. He is mine. Do you understand? Go away. I guess he was kind of confirmed not being I guess they were basically confirmed as not being human, yeah, by the end of the game. He was kind of like a walking scarecrow, wasn't he? What are you both talking about? I live in this house alone. It's just me and no one else. I had a housemate, but he died of plague three days ago. It was you who asked me to take a look at him. You found me in the hospital and told me that Jakob recovered. You were driving me crazy. I never asked for no such favors. I did not go nowhere. And I have no idea who you are, mate. Get out of my house. How do you explain the sounds? Where do they come from if there's nobody else in the house? Do you not hear? Go away, Doctor. Leave before it's too late. Everything in here is fake. Do you crave more illusions? Go see Shabnak. She misses you, poor girl. Right now, you're getting in my way. I'll manage on my own. Manage what? What's going on here? Man went to the Black Wood. Man came back. This is bad. That wood is the root of another world. I alone can heal. But the Black Wood claims men and gobbles up their souls together with the plague, pulls them inside its maw. We must uproot it. That is why I came. I am a changeling. I can deal with shoots of a different world. You cannot. There's nothing here for you to do, Doctor. Him saying that he's already inspected the house and no one's home is silly when half the doors are locked and there's clearly screaming happening and smells happening behind them. Like, what do you mean you've already checked? Roots? Shoots? Another world? You are right about one thing. This is beyond my comprehension. Do what you will. What if Darkwood 2 is about Clara? That'd be wild. Okay, I just heard a door open. That's a little hard to ignore.
Do you expect this from me, Simon Kane?
Chug some Twirine because of my... That really took it out of me. Supposed Jakob. I'm Dr. Dankovsky. Your neighbor informed me that you recovered from the plague. Visited some forest, a black one, I believe, and recovered. Is that true? Please. Enough. Enough. Leave me. Go away. Go away. Go away. No. Wait. Tell me. Do you have nails? Do you have nails? Strange question. What do nails have to do with anything? Show me your nails. At least one nail. To show me my nails, you'll have to open the door. Cut off your finger and slide it under the door. No. I must see your nail. That's how I'll know I can trust you. Did the monsters not have nails in that game? Is that a test? Are you not alone in there? Or... Your voice just changed. What's going on? Here's my finger. A sign of my trust. Now it's your turn. Even if this poor soul really did somehow recover from the plague, others had better not repeat his method. I don't think we're gonna get any more context for this one. Was not expecting an extended Darkwood trailer. It's not quite a trailer, but like the extended Darkwood reference is a bit of a surprise. Ow! That hurt.
The amalgam can't pour like that.
I keep hurting my goddamn meter. Still don't need to break it. It was too good to be true, I say to myself. And that's it for today. I need to loop. Messy, messy, messy. I believe we're done with basically everything. Yeah, let's just loop. And try again at the one diagnosis. And then we'll be done with day 6. It's taking a little while, but we'll get in there. How's my inventory going? Looks like it'll fit, yeah. That's 12 slots. Don't have to worry about doing anything with it right now. There we go. Oh, you can also trade with her. Ah, recipe Meridorm. Okay. I keep putting them on the wrong side. Need 2 more. Wow, heavy dose of morphine gives as a price of 10? Extremely valuable. I can trade the belladonna because I'm not going to need to recharge that gun today. Where's this recipe? Like, I feel like I should just collect every recipe, even though I don't expect myself to do tons of crafting, just because I don't want to not have them. Didn't I gain something new recently? There are so many of these. Ah. Oh. Recruit additional volunteer orderlies for command needs. Use rations and fuel to gain orderlies and some more contagion apparently. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe if I go all the way back to the beginning to a not especially important thing, like stopping time. Can I train orderlies back then? That gives me more orderlies overall. I successfully get contagion to be zeroed out on the first day, so I don't have to worry about that. That's the plague? The plague at the end of day 5 is all the way up past 1, even though that's the day where I used the vaccine. That's surprising. I should now be able to use Protocol 5 to improve the vaccine. Boat burial. Minus 70 contagion. Something's wrong with that day. No matter what I do, I can't get the contagion to go down enough. Minus 15 rest curfew. I'd be able to get the orderlies for the vaccine, but yeah, something's just wrong with day 7, clearly, and I guess I'm gonna find out when I finish this diagnosis in a minute. And can loop around myself to find out. Which one of you is the one that I failed at? Burdock. Gonna have to try again at him, but everything else should be done. Ooh. Spooky transition. It's surprising that that looping doesn't cost you anything. Just with the overall vibes of the franchise, you would kind of think that the act of looping would cost you some of the resource. What's it called? Amalgam? A package. Ambiguous value package. Wow. Let's trade for that and then feel ripped off afterwards, probably. Is it heavy dose of strychnine? Is that all it gave me? I'm never sure if it just gives you the one item or not. Definitely didn't give me any new items besides the one in that slot, but I don't know if these numbers went up. But it could have been a waste. I wish you sold me healing items. We're not especially in a hurry today for that kind of stuff, but it happens. Okay, so my issue is going to be that I can't take any more slides without reagents. And that's made of belladonna and novocaine. Damn it, I shouldn't have traded the belladonna a second ago. Novocaine and belladonna. He definitely has those. I don't need 4 of this because I can't treat an uneven number of things. Meridorm. There we go. Need to actually craft it. Alright. Novocaine, belladonna. Novocaine, belladonna. Alright. So I can better confirm what the hell his disease is now. Because I have some reagents, and he should have... There should be 4 more slides. Since apparently it seems to be persistent from day to day, from loop to loop, which slides I use that day.
Living.
Of all things to be persistent, that's a really weird one. But we successfully got everybody else up front, so... How hard can he be to handle? Nope, this way. Yep, the guy is gone. The guy who insisted that it wasn't really him. Who else cares about Ruin besides her? The keeper of the shelter. What would I do without her water carrier? He's been very helpful to us. Very helpful indeed. Alright, you pain in the ass. Alright, let's unpack this. So, where's the wise woman? And the medical doctor's here. You can't help me, Stitcher. What happened here? The evil one. Here for the wise woman. Consorts with the evil one. Money. Scanning through it for any clues that I might have missed or lost track of along the way. But this might be a case where I'm just supposed to take the list of symptoms that were shown to me at face value. So it's not specifically isn't burning a fever. He's rotting alive, covered in scars and sores. Like, that's what makes me think that he's covered in ulcers. But there's a few different things that could mean scars and sores, and I don't really know how to easily just distinguish between them with grammar. As a non-medical professional, and also one who often doesn't get to even look at the details up close, Because, yeah, seeing a rash or something like a rash at a distance from one camera angle and not getting any clarification isn't really up close either when there's similar diagnoses. I really am just kind of stuck hoping to latch onto keywords and hope that they say the very specific things that the diagnostic information mentions. Otherwise, I'm like, fuck, that's a gray area. Let's see. Did you meet him recently? Tried to rob him. Headache. I think I have headache listed still. You have physical contact with him. You have to loogie in my face, which is really one. It's definitely one to get caught. Pallor and thinness. If I bring back those clues. Pallor and dystrophy, yeah, it's still there, okay. And those the red eyes, which I canceled out earlier. It might be that I'm just overthinking it, which I always do, but I'm just like trying to tell, like, I'm expecting the game to fuck with me on some level. And there are fake diagnostic bits of information that, like, don't amount to much on a regular basis. Or, like, there specifically are ones that tend to be tricks. And so, like, just like how I'm like, maybe these bruises don't count for shit because he's a bandit. I'm like, when they hint at the idea that he was crying, I'm like, does that mean that the red eyes don't count? And if he says he's always been pale... He said that disease more easily clings to the pale. Which is a stupid saying, because obviously people who are pale are diseased more often than not. Like, people who are diseased are more likely to be pale, I mean. So... that's like a reverse correlation, but it still felt like the context to him saying that was essentially arguing that he's always been pale. Which is why I removed it from the clues. But I removed it from the clues, but it was literally like listed in the clinical picture, so like, does that mean I'm supposed to treat it as being true? Still trying to figure out like the rules to this, or how I'm supposed to interpret a lot of this stuff. These rules are, these descriptions are so mean. You're fine. Give me your hand, palm up. Fine is someone like me. And you're deathly pale. I can't escape the fact that inevitably this particular bit of diagnosis is always about having a specific skin tone to begin with. It's kind of the inherent bias there. Like, excuse me, I have healthy skin. You don't have healthy skin. I'm like, well, people don't always all have the same colored skin to begin with. Whatever level of paleness people of certain complexions can even reach is super variable. Even crying. Maybe it is a symptom. Yeah, you're just really left having to guess whether or not these symptoms are real in a lot of the sense, huh? It's rough. What's he doing? What was that? A cough? He's a bandit. Should be more careful. Little warned me about this patient, but the bandit himself is shaking like a leaf. And look how red his eyes are. Shaking. Where is shaking? Loss of coordination? Memory lapses. Not gonna be eyes. Shouldn't be mouth. Cyanosis? That's blue skin. He looks like he's coughing in his animation, but his cough isn't mentioned anywhere in any of the conversations or observations. But I can't tell if I'm supposed to think he's coughing or not. One of the weird things about diagnosis is that when you look at their body, you don't look at their face. It seems like a lot of the evidence should be on their face, but I can't like hit Q on their face to see like, hey, please give me a description in your words, Bachelor, of what you think is going on with their lips or their coughing or their eyes. I don't get a description of that stuff because for some reason the diagnostic screen doesn't look at their face. That's so weird. Why would you not look at their face? I just have to hope that it comes up in other dialogue, but in some of these cases I'm like, it sure seems like something's happening and we're not bringing it up. Hematomas, burning sensation in the heart, rapid pulse, weakness. Rapid pulse. The normal is 60 to 80. Lung disease, rash, redness. Shaking is just like not a symptom. I'd expect it to be under central nervous system. I don't think it is. Bulimia, loss of weight, hydrophobia, memory lapses, loss of coordination. So like, what do I do with shaking? Weird. Anyway, I think I'm gonna just assume that if it's written here, I need to include it. But I don't know. I think we have proven some of these wrong before in another case, so I'm not totally sure. Look at this one. So this one has a mouth. So this one does not have a mouth thing, and we found a mouth thing, so it can't be anemic vasculopathy. That does get rid of the obvious one altogether. Acute bronchopathy. So I went for the burning fever because of the mouth thing, but it's not that. So measles, the lungs are clear. This one has lungs. Okay, so let's take a lung sample and see if that teaches us something. Because I think I just need to fucking dig in. Unless I want to brute force it by just iterating loop after loop, but that's just way less satisfying, even if it was technically like free to do resource-wise. This is an interesting process because it kind of is ambiguous whether or not you're finding anything. Specifically, I think I've always found something, so I've not yet experienced what it's like to not find something. What's that? Is that it? Oh, there it is. See, this is what's throwing me is I've found something every single time. To the point where I'm almost wondering, like, how does it work when you don't find something? Does not finding something involve still finding the moving thingy, but then you're like, oh, that's not an infection. I guess he's clear. Or do you just spend a full minute searching blindly and not grasp anything? Because you can definitely look around for a while and not see anything when there is something there. So like, your options are a positive test or a potentially negative test. Like the negative test doesn't seem conclusive, maybe, but I haven't seen a negative test yet, even hypothetically, so I can't even say for sure. Okay, so mouth and lungs. So this thing does not have mouth, so it's dead to me. Can I right click on it to get it to go away? You can only discard symptoms. You can't discard individual things. I don't want to discard symptoms because my issue with discarding symptoms is that we never get all the symptoms in the first place, right? So, acute bronchopathy does have mouth and lungs. Burning fever doesn't have lungs. Measles doesn't have lungs. This doesn't have mouth or lungs. Doesn't have mouth or lungs. Alright, so it seems pretty cut and dry at the moment. This has mouth and lungs. I have mouth and lungs, so it should be acute bronchopathy, whether or not everything else necessarily feels like it makes sense. Fever, pallor, headache. Weakness, maybe? Is that... or loss of coordination? Is that stuff close to shaking? It does involve contaminated water, so it's transmitted in a way that makes sense. I'm gonna have to hope that's right. Gotta believe. I was prepared to test more things and use up more resources, but that one thing, that one test, it further canceled out every single option that was even vaguely relevant so far. I think I had to scroll all the way down to ones that only had 2 symptoms in common to even find one that finally had heart and mouth and lungs again. Might be just clean.
you some quiet.
See, was he here yet? No. So I need to skip ahead to 6 p.m. basically, which we don't have anything to do. This is like a horrific concept to me. After playing so much Pathologic in the past games, the idea of just skipping so much of your day just for fun is completely antithetical to my concept of the games, because I'm like, no, that's when you run around in the fields and collect twirine and organs. If you don't have anything else to do, you can do the resource engine. I'm still wrong? Bro. 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 Dude. Man. Alright, well, I have the resources. I guess I'll just reset. Huh. I think I'm just gonna have to get a bunch of slides and get proof of who he is. He's hard to nail down. Like, maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, there's like a bunch of complex information going on. Bardock? So reset him. There's definitely like a bunch of contradictory or muddy information where it's like hard to pin down which stuff I'm supposed to count and which stuff I'm not. It makes me wonder if I can, like, can I investigate the guy he talks about? Oopsie, I didn't collect my... there's a clock at the hospital, right? I'm not gonna risk it, I'm right here. I forgot to get my stuff, unless I didn't. Part of me is like, wait, did I forget to get my stuff? Or did I... That's how you check. Alright, so I have 2 more reagents. Which, considering how many the last one crossed out, I should be able to get a lot more now. If I just get one more test, that should be enough to eliminate all the way down to the last things, basically. Probably. The satisfying thing to do would be investigate this pockface guy. Although if his name is Pockface or whatever, that suggests that he's been looking like that for a very long time. Which kind of suggests that he's not currently sick. And he just has, like, pock scars. A pock-marked face, as they say. Which is actually not a sign of current illness. But I don't think I get any information about him by... let's see. You don't think regular treatment would help? I think most of this dialogue just goes the same thing no matter what I pick. Have you considered the possibility this pockface might have simply earned his money through honest work? You a tame one, Stitcher, real Dewey-like. But folks tell the truth about that guy. The evil one doesn't help people out of the goodness of his heart. That's why Pockface is rotting alive, covered in scars and sores. A walking corpse, really. Traded in his soul and flesh for the sweet smell of scratch. I don't think we ever get any context about where Pockmark is and how to pursue that situation. But I can't look into that, right? Okay, so let's just see. What can I narrow down then? We already have mouth and lungs. So anemic is not an option. Mouth and lungs, acute bronchopathy is an option. No laws, no neither. No neither. Consumption, no mouth. Influenza has both. Lymphanitis has neither. Serpent syndrome has both. Oop. Steppe dryness. That one has like nothing in common besides red eyes. We're so far out of the realm of this shit. Fruit typhoid has both, but we've already diagnosed that today and has no symptoms in common. And pulmomucus syndrome. Was it twirine? No. Shit, did I lose track of? Okay, serpent was one of them. Serpent syndrome and influenza, right? Headache and fever. Red eyes and dystrophy. Influenza, acute respiratory disease caused by the influenza virus. We're familiar. Affects the respiratory tract. Considered the most severe among acute respiratory viral infections. The disease manifests suddenly with muscle weakness, fever, cough, sore throat, severe headache, and photophobia. Does the flu cause photophobia? I don't remember having light sensitivity from the flu in real life. Upper respiratory tract involvement starts with cough, chest pain, and runny nose. Later, throat pain, shortness of breath, hoarseness appear. Rare strains of influenza may have gastrointestinal symptoms. Mortality from influenza increases in crowded conditions or during epidemics. Pregnant women, smokers, and people in crowded conditions are in the risk groups. For the longest time, until very recently, when I think I had a flu diagnosis, I 100% exclusively associated the flu with throwing up. Like that's in my brain. I was like, oh yeah, colds are when you have all of the throat and nose symptoms, and the flu is when you throw up. The flu is the throwing up disease. But it turns out, I guess that's because like you generate so much gross like mucus and shit because of the influenza, and that is being swallowed constantly, and so so much of it gets in your stomach that it makes you throw up constantly when you're a kid because you're small. So it's like your body keeps rejecting that and throwing it up. But the throwing up is not actually a symptom. I mean, it's technically a symptom, like a secondary symptom, but like it's not being caused directly by the flu. The flu doesn't actually make you throw up directly. It's just that what your body is doing ends up then secondarily causing you to throw up. So when you're an adult, I guess you don't throw up really most of the time. Because I guess you're just bigger and you're less likely to hit some kind of like saturation point where there's like so much bullshit in your stomach that you then need to throw up as a result of the disease. So I may have had the flu a number of times as an adult for all I know and not known it because I genuinely thought I had this categorization in my head of like the cold is all the gross shit in your head and the flu is the thing that makes you throw up over and over again. Like in my brain, the flu was almost like food poisoning or something in the way its symptoms would manifest, and so I just thought I just never got the flu. But I think it was like 4 years ago or some point. I think it was specifically during COVID when I specifically found out that I didn't have COVID. But I was like, then what is this? Because it doesn't seem like a cold, but it's not COVID. And I was like, I was able to figure out that it apparently was the flu. And I was like, wait, what? Oh shit! I need to recategorize this entire disease because it's not even what I think it is. Unfortunately, I don't think I can diagnose this stuff very clearly based on its current situation because I'm not getting enough feedback that's helpful. Serpent syndrome, an infectious disease resulting from skin infections caused by the fungus Hyacinthum pedicum. The fungus is typical to eastern and southern provinces. Cases of infection in the empire's north are unknown. Presumably, the fungus affects impoverished people weakened by malnutrition. You could just say people weakened by malnutrition. Saying impoverished specifically is like implying that it's the poor people's disease. However, native steppe people seem to possess a certain immunity to this fungus. Northerners moving to steppe provinces lack such immunity and are more frequently affected. The disease starts with local skin lesions that can later cover a significant portion of the patient's skin. Untreated cases lead to exhaustion, digestive system disorders, and damage to the mucous membranes. All discharges from infected individuals are contagious, and patients require isolation and care with enhanced nutrition. Risk groups are malnutrition people, and migrants. This sounds like it's it. if you just go narratively, he did spit the infection at him like a serpent, and it specifically calls out that they have symptomatic. The cat's yelling in the other room, and it's really jamming my brain again. So influenza infects the heart. Serpent syndrome does not affect the heart. So let's just go ahead and take a sample because I would like to actually take some kind of data besides just, did I already do it? I did, okay. Okay, well, it's like that's... What am I doing in this part is what I want to know. Like, what is the point of this minigame? What am I doing right now? Also, why can't I get it? Okay. Like, what am I accomplishing right now? This is the part that makes me think that you zoom in on a thing and you stare at it for a while, and then maybe sometimes it tells you the organ's not affected, even though you looked at a thing. Because, like, I'm locking in on a thing, but, like, the moment you even glance at the thing, you're like, oh, there it is. Right? Like, if the presence of that little PNG in that minigame means they're infected, then I don't actually need to bother with, oh, I gotta perfectly focus my lens and stare at it while it bounces around like Flappy Bird. Because, like, its presence would just mean that it is, in fact, infected, and I could just proceed as such. The rest of it seems to just be me unlocking the ability to have it be written in my journal, because apparently I have to, like, convince the bachelor that it's there or something. But the moment I see it at all, I've seen it. But that's why I keep thinking maybe they'll be like, maybe they'll have it be a thing where you can like see it and it'll actually be like, ah, this confirms it's not infected somehow. That doesn't make any sense to me, but mechanically it makes sense to me, because why would the video game make me stare at it if staring at it accomplishes nothing, because the mere presence of the thing being seen at all would immediately be a diagnosis? I don't know. I don't know. But weirdly, yeah, flu is heart, lungs, and mouth, right? Heart, lungs, mouth. So I just disproved serpent syndrome, because that doesn't affect the heart, and we apparently do have the heart. So it is the flu. Apparently. Lungs, heart, mouth. If this isn't it still, I'm gonna lose my mind a little bit, because I'm like, I don't understand how I'm messing up this badly. I might just be really bad at the diagnostic process. I am in fact not a doctor. I have a bachelor's degree in geology, so it's not like I'm gonna pretend to be qualified. But it is interesting to be in a diagnostic simulation game where you kind of can't control what the questions you ask. So when you have things that you're like, you want to clarify, you just can't. Your character won't pursue those particular threads. In a game where the symptoms can be super similar to each other in description, so I'm like, okay, well, we gotta do a differential diagnostics between these two specific reddenings of skins, right? And they're like, nah, you can't ask any more questions. I'm like, that's what we're here for. All right. Down. It's 6 p.m. It was almost 6 p.m., but I misclicked. I didn't even know that I could misclick. That's interesting. I still didn't quite click on... Wow, I thought that the clicking was was like skipping... I definitely thought that the clicking... how do you put it? I thought it was locking to the nearest landmark, milestone, whatever. I thought that it was sticky. I thought I was clicking on intervals. Apparently you can click on hyper-specific times. That's interesting. Diagnostic successful. It was the flu the whole time, which made my story relevant, where I brought up the idea of how I can't identify the flu in real life. Like, it's nothing like what I think it is. And it turned out this whole odyssey was also about how fucking weird the flu is. I got Protocol 6. Vaccinate the population with the experimental emergency command drug. 10 orderlies, 100 medicaments. I don't like that word. I don't know how to pronounce it really. 150 contagion, 50 unrest. That's less than 7, right? Or not set. Protocol 5. First of all, this one costs 35 orderlies. I just trained more orderlies so I could use Protocol 5. And now I maybe have a better one? See, this is 200 contagion and 100 unrest. $150 contagion, 50 unrest. So it's 50 weaker at both, but easier to apply with the orderlies overall. If I do this, we'll completely zero out disease today, but then tomorrow will still be like that, which is wild. Reduce unrest. What's the most unrest reduction I can go for? 25 is not that impressive. 35, and stopping time also does contagion. We have 3 vaccines being applied. Chronologically out of order, but that's funny. It's whatever. Alright, so I think I have now finished day 6. I really fucking stumbled across the finish line there, didn't I? I was like, man, look how fast I'm doing the diagnostics. And I'm like, I can't do it, it's too hard. Why am I so stuck?